can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient and soon. It can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous, it's the world honestly burning. That's all I'm learning, hope that we can make a turn and start reversing. All our minds, we put the work in, we got some work, man. I started to do.
Peace, everybody. All right. Can y'all hear me good? Getting that echo somewhere. Got it up over here. On my other computer. All right, so y'all can hear me because I heard that. All right, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. I didn't do my usual intro, so let me get to it and put it in there. Got to do that. Can't start the show without actually writing those words down. Got to do that. Got to write it down. What you want, you have to write it down all the time. Remind yourself of where you're going. I was trying to play a KRS-One video, and you know what? I think I have a better way I could do it. I could just share the screen and start it over. Then I wanted y'all to hear something. One of my loyal clients shared it with me, and I want to share it with you guys. Share that. Let me see if I could. I want to share where I could do the. I downloaded it to my computer just now. I don't know where it went. Let's say recent. That ain't gonna work. So I'll just share the tab. All right. Share screen. Tab. Oh, that right there. I'm gonna share that with you. And I want you to hear what he says at the beginning. Don't let y'all listen for about 5 minutes and we'll shut it down.
Knowledge is not words. Knowledge is awareness. Awareness. Information and education is not awareness. Education is training. In fact, American education is all about training you for the job market. You're supposed to get a great education so that you can go out and be a professional at some form of employment. That's not knowledge. Education is good. But you will never be rich with a job. Let me be clear with that at the top. You'll never be wealthy employed. Only the entrepreneur, the self-educated, self-employed, self-reliant, these are the people that move forward through all obstacles in life. So what is knowledge? Awareness. What is education? Training. What is information? Things you know. You know, beef is on sale, $2.99 over here at Food Line. That's information. You can buy a new car today, no money down. Just go over here to 655 DD Street and you can pick up the car for no money down. That's all information. Tonight's news, so-and-so is running for president. Information. None of this is knowledge. None of this is even education. Just stuff in your head that you now know. Most people rely on information than knowledge. Whatever they're told, they believe. The last thing they were told is where they're directing their entire life toward. Hear what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that again. The last thing they were told is where they're directing their entire life to. So if the last thing you was told was a record on the radio, yo, I'm standing on the block and I'm da-da-da-da. You direct your whole life toward that. This information, you direct your whole life. Start thinking, oh, wow, can I be standing on the block too? Can I? What if I was in there? Yo, that chick, she looked hot in the video. What if I was? This is all your brain energy going to just the last thing you heard. Turn on CNN, somewhere, Fox News, BBC, whatever. The world is on fire. We're all gonna die. You start going to the hardware store for duct tape, canned goods, because of the last thing you just heard. This is information. Information's moving societies. Moving. They yell this way, the society moves this way. They yell that way, the society moves that way. All information, no knowledge. Barely educated. Meaning education is training and the entire American population is out of work because they're untrained. What is education then? On top of information, education, and knowledge, there is intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to know. It is not knowing. It is the ability to know. Do you have the ability to know? This is what makes you knowledgeable. If you have the ability to know something, you can become aware. And once you become aware, you're free. Here's awareness. Here's knowledge. An electrician walks in the room. Electrician walks right in the room. Certified electrician. The electrician looks at the room and sees lights, amps, ohms, wires. The electrician looks at this very room and sees a completely different room. Why? Because the electrician has electronic knowledge. The brain cannot see without word. The brain kind of looks at things and notices them. But if it doesn't have a word for that thing, it doesn't see it. You walked in this room right now. You're not thinking about amps, ohms, voltage, how long these lights could stay on, what's the wattage in these bulbs, what kind of bulbs are there? None of this is crossing you, it's just in the room. The reason this is, you see the light, you see it all around you. Or should I say, you notice the light all around. but you don't really see it. Only an electrician with electronic words is aware of an electronic room. So the electrician comes in and sits down. A plumber walks in right after.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. And I'm gonna play the last, I think, at the end of the show, I'm gonna play the last, I think, 7 minutes. She talks about the soul and things like that. But the reason why I stopped it is because he's on point with what he's saying, but I have to make an adjustment to what he said. He said electronic and electrician. I am by trade certified in electronics. Electronics and electrician in two different things. Electrical, he should have used the word electrical. Electronics is transistor radios. Electronics is your computers. That's electronic. Those are what you call low voltage items. So those are two different things. I just wanted to clear that up when you're talking electronics. You know, when an electrician looks in the room, he's looking at electrical things like lines, electrical lines, running those lines to your circuit breakers, fuses. What else? What do you call? They have what you call in these certain outlets that cut off the electricity if it gets short out. I can't even think about it now. It's one of those, you have them in your kitchen and you press them, you reset them when they go off. I completely forgot. I know exactly what they are, but he's right. Let's go to what he was talking about when it comes to knowing and knowledge. So because I have different experience in different things, that's how come I can speak on electronics versus electrical or electrician. I have an electronic mind because that's what I'm into. I built a computer. If you come in my office, it ain't nothing but electronics in here. You know, I got my laptop, my iPad, my cameras, my other Mac Mini, my PS5, my Xbox, and this room is printers. This is an electronic room. So when I walk into a room, because of the knowledge I have, I see things differently than most people that are not involved in that same task. This is why the show is we become what we think about. And he started off saying that the educational system is designed to show you how to get a job. And that's what most of us are programmed to do. That's what we're trained to do. How to get a job, how to get a resume so somebody can like us to give us a job. We kiss up to these people to give us a salary that won't even pay all of our bills. And I'm telling you, it's absolute insanity. The reason why you're stressed, the reason why you're depressed, the reason why things ain't going right is because you're living a life trying to please someone. You're trying to make other people happy. You're trying to conform to the ideas of what people want you to do. And there's one simple solution to this. Get off the bus. Get off the train. Get off the idea that you have to please people. Get off the idea that you have to do what somebody says you got to do to make them happy. Because you can never make anybody happy. You know, once you conform to somebody's idea of what they want you to do, they're going to move the goalposts and see how far they can take you. Somebody should want you in their life just for the simple fact that you enhance their life and you add an enhancement to they already defined happiness that they already have within themselves. No one can make you happy. You cannot make anybody happy. You can't do it. It's impossible. Okay. And the minute you get on this idea that you're trying to make someone happy, you're going to make someone happy. That's like the equivalent of thinking you can save the world. You can't. You can only save yourself. You can only perfect the happiness within you. You can only perfect the love within you. You can only perfect the friendship in you. Once you are a friend and you love and you you are seeing to your happiness and joy, then you can bring joy to someone else. Yes. That's the only way you can do it. If you're in some situation or any situation and you're thinking that an action you take is going to make someone happy, even though they're gonna put it on the table. Oh, if you do this is gonna make me. This is gonna be good for me. No, as soon as you do it, they're gonna move that goalpost. It's gonna be something else they're gonna want. No one should be placing those demands on you. And if anyone loves and cares about you, they won't place those demands on you. Because anyone that cares about you is only interested in one thing, and that's interested in your mental well-being. Are you okay? That's it. And they'll be happy that you're just okay. Not happy that you're doing something that it for them that's make them happy. I know I'm a little off a little bit. This is where the spirit is taking me. We have to remind ourselves we become what we think about. And if you're thinking about that something you're gonna do for someone else and make them happy is gonna correct the situation, you got one job: work on yourself, and that is start to think about things that are gonna push things in the right direction for you. If you're trying to make that money, or the saying today is get the bag. If you're trying to get the bag, and that's what you need to be concentrating on. What is it gonna take to get the bag or make all of this money? You got to write it down. And you got to be precise. Like I'm working on that. Today I got up about 4:30 ish in the morning, and I got in front of my computer and I said, "Let me write this stuff down." And I wrote down things about being a millionaire. And then I wrote down, I said, "I want to be a millionaire, therefore I am a millionaire." And how do I then I wrote down things. Okay, if I'm gonna be a millionaire, what is it gonna take for me to become a millionaire? What are the things I have to do? What are the things I'm gonna have to sacrifice? Who are the associations I need to get rid of? That's very important. Who are the associations that you need to get rid of that's hindering you from becoming wealthy? I can guarantee you, you know there's some people in your life that you need to get rid of or stop talking to altogether because they're not helping you get there. They're not interested in you becoming more wealthier than them, because then that means they're gonna feel left behind. They're gonna feel jealous. They're gonna feel like, oh, you think you all that because you starting to make all of this money. See, they're like KRS One said, they want the job. And as he said, you will never become rich that way. You will never become wealthy working for someone. You might have a decent pension, you might have a different decent pay to live decent, but you're not going to make him money to live next to the boss or go on hit the same vacation she's going on. You're not going to be able to do that. Hey, give me 1 second here on my own. So let's go back to the happiness thing. Why are you upset? Why are you happy? Why are you sad? Why are you depressed? Because you're not working in your divine purpose. That reminds me of children. What is the one thing that children love to do? They love to play. They love to seek the ultimate joy of life. That's all they want to do. And that's all they will do if you let them. And guess what? What they're doing is actually what you're supposed to be doing. If you look at these children, is this scripture? If you can be like one of these children, you can enter into the kingdom of heaven. What are they seeking? Peace, love, joy, camaraderie, working together, playing together. No cares in the world, no worries. They not worrying about paying bills. It's taken care of. And that's the way you're supposed to be. Knowing that it's taken care of. Children don't. Only time a child gets concerned with paying bills, they come to a certain age and they hear the parents arguing about money. But they really don't worry about that. That's not a concern. Their only concern is to have fun, seek joy. And that's what you're supposed to do. I know that the intellectual minded, well-educated people will say, oh, you playing and being so serious all the time. That's what you're not going to get anything done. Yeah, you could be seriously happy. You could be seriously joyful too. I enjoy what I do. When I sit down to the computer and try to look for new information and shit, I enjoy that. That brings me joy. Some people think I'm just too serious about things. Yes, sometimes I am. And I gotta look at that. I should be having joy in all the things that I'm doing or work towards that so that I can have more of that. The more you put out something, the more you get. And the only way I can do that is be careful and be mindful of what I am thinking about so that I don't become something I really don't want to be. Take a sip of this. I asked the ancestors to give me the words, the divine information so that I can benefit and everyone that's listening can benefit. This has been a challenging 17 days for myself and many others. The start of this new year, that's how I know this year is going to be epic, man. It's going to be off the chain. People, we're going to get that wealth that we're looking for. We're going to see, we're going to hit that peak. We're going to get to that mountain top. I know it because I see all of the challenges popping up in all of the people I know in their life just to try to sidetrack them. These little storms that's popping up that seem huge and big. And they're not big. They just, it's what I say. You become what you think about. What you're thinking about is it's the mindset. You think it's bad. That's because you believe it's bad, or it's bad because you believe it's bad. You're concerned about losing something or someone in your life. That's a belief system. You can change that belief. You don't have to lose anybody. Only thing you should be happy to lose people and things that is not bringing you joy, that is not pushing you in the right direction. Should be okay. And then when I realized, like right now, that I'm the one who's in charge of my joy, my peace, and all of that, I am. It's me. No one else. So I get to decide. Somebody could be acting crazy. I get to decide how I choose to respond to that. Whether I'm going to let my joy be taken away, I'm going to, like Reverend Ike say, give them the ticket or give them the license to take my joy away. Is that what you're doing? Are you allowing people to take your joy away? And a lot of times, if we really examine folks and really pay attention and try to get to understand where they're coming from, a lot of people really don't mean any harm. And there's some evil folks out there, let me don't get me wrong, but most people don't really mean you they they're acting that way based off their past. They they really are caught up in a negative mindset and they don't even know it. See, I'm here to make you aware of it. Be aware of what you're thinking about. If you're feeling sad right now and you're feeling down, feeling depressed, what is it that's really causing that depression? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about that you're sad? That's why you became sad, because you were thinking about feeling sad. Think about being depressed. I'm depressed. You say, I'm depressed. Yes, you become depressed. Let's go to another thing. Let's talk about money. Are you thinking about how much money you don't have? I'm broke. I don't have enough. I don't make enough. Are you thinking that? Well, that's why you becoming broke. Why you becoming not have enough. That's why you don't have enough, because you're thinking that. You believe that. You have signed that contract of poverty. Speaking of poverty, I got to take a look. I got to give y'all a little lesson in about poverty and paupers. You know, that's mentioned in the Constitution. That's mentioned in the Article of Confederation, that paupers, vagabonds, they don't have any rights. And there's something in this community that people do. They do it with enthusiasm. They want to go to court. They don't want to pay the fees. So they want to fill out what you call a form pauperis, which is basically you're claiming to be poor. Now, I've read several times about the article in the Articles of Confederation that paupers, vagabonds, they don't have any rights. They're not considered free inhabitants. And according to this Black's Laws Dictionary, pauper, a person so poor that he must be supported at public expense. Also, a suitor who, on account of poverty, is allowed to sue or define without being chargeable with the cost. So, if you're one of those people that like to go to court and fill out that pauperous form, you calling yourself a pauper, and therefore you have no unalienable rights. You're not considered a free inhabitant. You're basically considered a ward of the state. You're basically a U.S. citizen. You're a debtor. You're a vagabond, and you have no rights. So a lot of people in this community talking about I have unalienable rights, but then they fill this form out. Remember what the title of the show, we become what we think about. You think about being poor, you're going to be poor. I would never fill that form out. If I can't get them to waive my fees, a lot of constitutions have statements that you're supposed to have court without cost. I've done shows on that many times. I don't think I ever did a YouTube video on it. I'll probably do one to show you how you can use the Constitution to get your petitions put in for free. By bringing out that it says without sale, without delay. And I've actually helped many people do that just by using the Constitution. This ties into what I'm saying. We become what we think about. You're thinking about, I just want to get over. I want to pay this. And you fill out this form that you're a pauper. You have just wrote on paper that you are a pauper. And you expect to have money after that? You expect to have wealth after that? Be careful what you think about. Be careful what contracts you're signing. Verbal, written, Be careful of these contracts. I'm very mindful of all of the things that I'm saying out of my mouth. Because the last thing I want to do is put a hex or a curse on my wealth. I'm wealthy. I'm already at the millionaire status. I'm there. See, if you want to be something, you got to walk and talk like you are that. You want a great relationship, you have to act like you have a great relationship in private and out there in the public. You have to be that. You sit up there, oh, this is impossible. Yes, it's going to be impossible. This is not going to work. Yes, it's not going to work. My money is funny. Yes, it's going to be funny. The sooner you realize everything that's happening to you or around you started from within you. You are made in the likeness and the image of God. And God is nothing but a divine creator, and you are too. So you get to create your own experience. And your own experience is created through your thoughts, your words. The physical is just the manifestation of every thought, every action you took before that. That's it. Yes. Everything. So if you're seeing things that you don't like or agree with the adversary quickly, meaning acknowledge that that is what it is. And the adversary is you're thinking adversarial thoughts against yourself, and then correct it. Change your thinking, change your mind, change your thought process. Sooner you change the thought process, the sooner your issues go away. And one of the quickest ways or the easiest ways to make problems go away fast is just say, everything is good. Everything's all right. I am okay. My finances are great. Speak life into your finances. Stop looking at the bank account and saying that's real. No, the bank account is just a manifestation of all of the ideas you had before. So realize if you want that bank account to increase, you have to think increase. You have to become increase. You have to become the wealthy money mindset. If your relationships are lacking, you have to become the good relationship. You have to build a good relationship within yourself. And then from there, work from inward out. When you see people on the street, you speak to them. You be polite. You go to the stores, you be polite. Ask people how they're doing and genuinely want to know. Give. The only way wealth comes, or any type of wealth in your relationships and in your finances, is by the act of giving. Yes. By the act of giving. This is, by the way, this is my I have moringa leaves, so I make a tea out of it in the morning. And then I put in the refrigerator, moringa tea. This is what this is, with a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it. You got to become that which you want to see in your life. You have to believe and think as if you already have it. Somebody's asking about private credit and DBAs and stuff. I'll get to that in a second. That's right. Disciple ministry, it's time to reap what we sowed. Yes, the issue with reaping what you sow. Some of y'all are reaping the bad thoughts that you had. But it's never too late to change your mind. It's never too late to think again. Do y'all realize that's what the word repent means? To think again? Yes. It means to think again. Think a new thought. Straight out of Reverend Ike's textbook. Think a new thought. You don't like what you see now, think a new thought. Think about what you want. Think about what you want as if you got it in your possession. Pretend. The children gave us an example when they make believe. Shoot, Mr. Rogers gave y'all example when in the land of make believe. He was teaching y'all. Do y'all realize Mr. Rogers was teaching y'all spiritual esoterical science on that show? Oh, Mr. Rogers. I used to love that. It was something about that show that children loved. He had like a mild-mannered personality, and it wasn't, and it didn't have all of the fluff, the flair, special effects as most people most of the other shows. But something about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that every kid wanted to watch. The reason why that show was so captivating because it was really a show that talked about spiritual things. We just didn't know it at the time. Talk about friendship, family, being polite. That's why it's called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But I keep talking about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I could find spirituality just about anything that goes down. And you have to get to that point too. Even in your disagreements, you got to find the spiritual lesson that's there for you. See, sometimes we go get caught up in the issues of what's going on that we overlook that there is a spiritual divine lesson to be learned in this, what we call a problem. Because you start to see all the players, you start to see yourself as a player, and you start to see, wait a minute. There's something I need to do here. There's something I need to get rid of. See, I know that some of y'all have met some serious, real serious challenges that's causing you to think and walk another way, get away, do other things. But is that really the answer? What is the answer? Because first of all, you need not pass judgment on others. So if you're trying to exit a situation or stop a situation because you think someone else is the problem, got to think again. Got to repent. Can't judge, or you yourself will be judged. But that's not to mean that you sit there and you take trash. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to see the spiritual growth in that situation. And sometimes you do have to walk away from things, people, and situations in order to correct it. Because if the other side is not willing to work with you, then you got to walk away. But what you have to do is leave it with no judgment. You have to leave it like, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do, and not pass judgment. And return to your peace. See? Right now, let me take a sip. I got maybe 1 or 2, 3 small sips here. Whew. Whoa. Woo, that's a strong one. I just drank that. It didn't feel that strong. Okay. What's going to come out of that one? That was one of those you got to go, oh, ooh. Ooh wee. Anyway, some of y'all in New Year's, into New Year's, y'all decide to do things. Some of y'all decide to make some serious changes. You want to see some serious change in your life. So you took some drastic measures. Some of you have been writing down your things you want to do, reading every day, binge listening to Reverend Ike, binge listening to anything that's possible. Some of you are fasting or have fast. When I was doing the 7 days of intention, and I'm gonna have to apologize, I failed to mention something because I've experienced it. I mentioned it after the fact, and I apologize. I should have mentioned this. I should have put a full disclaimer on out there that when you're trying to make a drastic change, when you're cleaning out, when you're cleaning house, when you're taking drastic measures so that you can see drastic change in your life, and you sweep your mind clean of all the negativity, when you declutter your desk, when you do all of these things, be careful that you refill it and you keep that cup full with all of the things that you want. Keep your mind full with all the things, because what happens if you let one moment get by, just one moment, those old problems, those old demons are going to come back, and they're going to come back with 10 more demons to keep you from getting where you want to go. And I'm not talking about real demons. I'm talking about the demons of your old past bad habits. That's the demons I'm talking about, that want to come back and take up residence against in your mind. Those old negative thoughts, they want to come back. They like, hey, I ain't got nowhere else to go. Ain't nobody else want to think like, where am I gonna go? You've been my home all life. I want to come back and give you comfort and make you feel like you're a victim. I want to make you feel depressed so that you can feel like you could want somebody to stroke your depression and make you feel better. See, those are the demons I'm talking about. The old programming is going to want to come back, and it's going to want to come back strong. And then guess what? The old programming is going to bring the energy of different people with that same mindset to come back and reinforce it on you. Because you could go through a good fast. You could go through a good days of writing down all your goals and all of these things. You're going to be doing good. As soon as you take a breath, I'm going to take a little break. Boom. All hell break loose. The old mindset start coming back. And you're not even noticing that this is the old programming that's trying to come back and want to get back in and take over. You're not even realizing that. You're just like, oh, this, because remember, the old program is default. It's the default mechanism. You really hasn't really purged it out of you. Because the other stuff is new and it feels good. If you feel excited, you feel exhilarated, you feel the joy of it. Then that old program, like, hey, wait a minute, what the hell are you doing? I ain't ready to leave yet. You ain't about to get rid of me this easy. So it's going to start beating up on you. It's going to start beating on your psyche, and you're going to start thinking things. And as you start thinking these bad things, the people going to show up. People going to become and manifest those thoughts. You're going to start seeing those issues in people. You got a problem with depression? You got issues with that? Guess what? Depressed people are going to come in your life and reinforce themselves. You're going to see it through you. You're going to see it through family. You're going to see it through your children. You're going to see it all. They're going to reflect it all back to you. See, a lot of the problems you're dealing with in people is really the issue you have with yourself. And it just being a mirror. And if you could realize it and that have that mindset that, wait a minute, what I see in this person, what I'm dealing with this person is what's in me that I need to work on. It's me. I know some of y'all have been doing great things. And I also know that some of y'all are dealing with some other things that's trying to take y'all off track. And I apologize for not breaking that down to you. I only realized that after I talked to so many people, a lot of people, and they started having all these major issues, fallouts, and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I had to remind you, didn't you just do this? That's your old you trying to come back and take up residence again. Remember, you trying to make changes. You trying to make radical changes. And guess what? Your old negative ways, your old self is trying to make a radical comeback to keep you back so that you don't work on your business. You don't work on your entrepreneurial things. That you be okay with clocking in and clocking out on the job. It's nothing like a bad situation to pop up to put you back in your place or put you back in the place of being somebody's employee. Because you said, well, I'm going to take a break from that. I ain't going to do that right now because I need to get my mind right. It's too much. See, the first thing we set aside when we have issues is the things we're trying to accomplish that'll get us out of the job and get us into a better situation. We put that off. Oh yeah, no, it is not time to take a break. It's time to fight through that, to work through that. And look at that like it's an illusion. It's just an illusion. It's trying to present itself to you so you can look at it. It's just like the storm that I talked about last week when it was in a boat. Jesus was chilling and they were sitting around worrying about this storm. Like they didn't have the power to calm the storm down. And the only thing they needed to calm down is their idea that the storm was going to destroy them. It's their perception of the storm. It's your perception of the problem that is the problem that is causing the storm to be real to you. You got to realize that issue that you calling an issue is only an issue because you called it an issue. That problem that you calling a problem is only a problem because you called it a problem. That problem that you calling that process that you're calling a process is only a process because you called it a process. That joy that you're feeling is only joy because you called it joy. That wealth that you're experiencing, the only reason why you have that wealth because you know you are wealthy. Use your mind, use your talents wisely. And when I talk about talents, the talent of the ideas in your mind of creation, that is a talent. See, the story of those talents between the three different, one had a few, and another one had many. The reason why they got those talents because the mastermind, God, knew the mindset of each one of those individuals. He knew when he gave that one servant that one coin what he was going to do with it when he did it, but he just had to let him play it out. He knew with the 1 with the 5 or the 7 talents, he knew exactly because he already knew that he had the mindset to multiply that. You're only given things according to your talents. And talent represents the ideas in your mind. You're only getting or receiving, you're only reaping the ideas in your mind. So if your bank account is low, that's what you believe in. That's what you have accepted. If your bank account is overflowing, that's what you believe in. That's what you've accepted. And that applies to all aspects of all of your life. If you're not receiving one thing, let me add this. The reason why a lot of y'all bank accounts ain't overflowing because you ain't willing to give nobody nothing. You're selfish. You look at the bum standing on the side of the road trying to get a dollar out of you or whatever he's trying to get out of you, and you're judging him. It was a time I used to do that. I used to just give to whatever. I didn't judge. And then lately I started judging these dudes like, oh man, I ain't giving. He could do this. He could do that. That ain't my job to do that. I need to get back to what I used to do. Just give it to him. What he do with it is on him. If I'm looking at somebody and I see they got their hand out and I have the idea or the thought to just think about it, then that means I'm supposed to give them something. Because if you're sitting there having the forethought or the idea or just thinking about them and judging them from, well, they doing this and they doing that, then that means you just making excuses not to give them something. I'm guilty of that. I can tell you that right now. Lately I've been doing that. I was like, and I thought, what you doing? You just getting these people just freely. Stop that. Ain't your job to judge them. If you have the mindset and you see that and you be sitting up there thinking, I give him this dollar, blah, 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 making excuses. And I say things like, well, they should just have some water. They could get a couple of, spend a few dollars and sell water and work for the money. And I think that they should. But if I'm there and I'm expecting to receive unlimited wealth, infinite wealth, then I got to just give. I got to give infinitely. I have to give. Yes, I have to do my due diligence. A lot of y'all can't get out of y'all problems because y'all not giving. And giving ain't just money. Y'all not giving of your time. Who are you helping who's got an issue? Who are you actually listening when someone call you with an issue, or are you trying to avoid their calls? Tired of hearing their problem. They just want to talk about their problem, blah, 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 blah. Judging. I'm not saying be a doormat, but what I'm saying is you have to give in order to receive. It's better to give than it is to receive. Because in your giving, you will receive tenfold. It will be multiplied. All right, who's out here? Let me take this sip. That's the same thing I just drank, and it wasn't as strong, but that last one was powerful. Yeah, and all that came out of that one sip. Wow. All right, let's see. Who's on the line. We got Corinne. Thank you. Happy Tuesday, loyal listeners. Mad Max. Alice Clemens says, greetings, peace to all. Hindsight Reddit says peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth. Disciple Ministry said, peace, peace, peace. Peace to you, brother. He said, surge protector. Disciple says surge protector. No, it's not surge protector. It's GFI. 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 That's what it is. It's a GFI you put in the kitchen. Or you put it near water sources. GFI means ground fault interrupter outlet. GFI simply means ground fault interrupter outlet. This is the kind of single location, local shockproof outlet that is typically installed in wet or damp areas in the property to detect electric current leakage, ground faults, and circuitry, and turn off the electricity to protect you from electrocution. Usually they put those in kitchens, they put in bathrooms, anywhere, any place where there's water, or because water is a conductor of electricity. Yeah, somebody put it there. Somebody had it there. I thought of it, GFI, and I didn't even look at it. Thank you, those who put GFI in. I didn't see that. I actually said GFI before I saw what you put there. Realist Mistake said it. Somebody said they have plumbers in their fan base. I want to hear what the plumber said. They want to hear what the plumber said. What he talked about the plumber. All right. I'll go back to the plumber after I give my salutes to everybody. C. King Bay said, peace to everyone. Kaznez 4 said, peace to all. Holly's Clemens says, boy, I learned those lessons the hard way when I was young. You can't change anyone. Absolutely. Falcom L555 says, greetings, good evening, National News. Peace. And at Maxim Moore says, happy Tuesday, never too late in the house tonight. Brother Akeem, thank you. And thank you for your kind and generous donations. By the way, I could use some donations for real. I got a lot of expenses coming up over the next couple of months to keep all of this going. There it is. That's how you could donate. The Cash App is there, my Zelle. Y'all want to donate something. Or just go to my site and join up on the premium membership or the recoupment process with premium membership. You're going to get a lot out of that. For that donation, you're going to get so much out of that. People are getting their mortgages paid off. Yes, mortgages are being paid off. Let's go back to the comments. For instance, thank you for playing the order book on Telegram. Yeah, I played Earl Nightingale. That's like 13 hours or more worth of recordings. My customer Steve, he sent me a clip of Earl Nightingale, so I went and got the whole, what do you call it? It's like a bundle. I got the whole thing, and I've just played it. Y'all got to join that Telegram channel. Just Church of Infinite Abundance. You got to join that, because what I do is I take Reverend Ike recordings and I just play them all day. And I played Earl that. So you can just turn that on and just leave it on and listen to and go about your day. And it's two loyal people that's on there all the time, Corinne and Steve. And it's almost 60 people who are part of the channel. But only y'all gotta listen. Y'all want something to change? Y'all gotta do something different. You can't continue to do the same old stuff all the time and think you're gonna get something different. Listen to something different. I'm just giving free. I bought that to share with you guys for free. Y'all ain't even gotta go buy this stuff. Most of my Reverend Ike recordings are played on there. and I let y'all listen to it on Telegram. Where y'all gonna get 12, 14 hours of just positive messaging? Where y'all getting that from? Come on now. Go join that Telegram. Let me see if I'm gonna put it in. And there's some people right now listening on Telegram. Y'all can go on Telegram and listen right now. Let me see. Oh, I wanna. I always forget how to share this thing. I don't know why. This it. Start share screen. Edit live. Da, 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 da. So, okay. I think it's here. No, it's not. I always forget how to share the link. I've done it a couple of times. Let's see this. Try to. Maybe it's here. Nope. Okay, this is what I had to click on. There it is. There it is, right there. That's what I was looking for. I'm putting the link in the chat. Y'all need to join that channel so y'all can hear that. And I'm gonna be adding more and more stuff. Copy link. There it is. There's the Telegram link to get on and hear the positive messaging. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and just start playing. So I'm gonna play something when I get off. Yeah, there's the link. Son of the King, True King. There's the link. It is. It's up there on the screen. You can see that. So he's asking, how did you join? There you go. Thank you, Oliver Billions, for telling what people GFCI is. And thanks to the people that did it before. See, these are all the people that put the GFI up there. I got to give them their credit. So I'm gonna go back to playing that video because somebody wanted to hear the plumber part. But at the end of the show, I'm gonna skip forward and we're gonna play when he talks about the soul. But here it is. And I might come back and I still got more sips left, so I might have some more for you to talk about. But here we go.
Plumber sees a completely different room. Why? Because the plumber has plumber knowledge, plumber words, a plumber life. Walks into the, you know what, those pipes right there, that's carrying hot water. That one there is carrying cold water. And I see how it's being brought. We walk into the room, don't even think about pipe. We're in the room. There's pipes in the room. There's water going all through this room right now. But because we don't have plumbing knowledge or plumbing words in our vocabulary, plumbing reality becomes invisible to us. You're in plumbing reality, but because certain elbow pipes and wrenches, and just the language of plumbing is not your language, you could be in an environment with pipes, with water, and not see it. So the electrician walks in, the plumber walks in, they sit next to each other. The electrician sees a completely different room. The plumber sees a completely different room. They're in the same room. sitting down, two knowledges, two awarenesses are seeing their awareness in their environment because of their words, because of their vocabulary, because of their knowledge. No one is telling them what their environment is. Their knowledge is creating their environment through their perception. So the electrician sits down and the plumber sits down, both seeing two different rooms. A painter walks in the room. Room changes a third time. The painter walks in, that's not just white paint, that's a certain name to that paint. There's a number on that paint. There's a certain, that's not just white against beige, if that's even beige. The painter would say, no, that's off-white, eggshell white, or summer white. Oh, that's some kind of beige. No, that's yellow, that's mustard. The painter has all kinds of painting knowledge in his head, in her head. So when the painter walks in the room, even though the plumber sees the room like a plumber, the electrician sees the room like an electrician, the painter walks in and sees the same room like a painter. All of this is knowledge.
Man, that's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful what he's saying. I'm glad that person encouraged me to play that. This is why you can't reach certain people. Because, see, the knowledge that you have about this subject and other subjects, they don't have it. And frankly, they're not even interested in it. But yet you get frustrated with them because they don't have it. No, that's not your job. Your job is do like he's talking about. Well, he didn't get there. The electrician is there to do the electrical work. The plumber is there to do the plumbing work. The painter is there to do the painting work. Now you have to decide, what knowledge do you have so that when you come into a room, you can see it according to the knowledge or your understanding of that room. See, right now, most of you got to work as knowledge. I'm a worker. I'm an employee. I'm a W-2. I'm a W-4. I'm a W-9. I'm a 1099. That's the extent of your knowledge. Now, the bigger question is, why are you a W-2? Why are you an employee? Is it because that's what you were born to do? Or is that what society said you had to do to survive? That's a very interesting question. That is a question that you got to ask yourself. And I can promise you, I already know the answer to that. That most of you, the only reason why you have a job or go to get a job is because you feel like that's your only option and that's what you have to do to pay your bills. Some of you have businesses that you're trying to start, and the only reason why the business is not taking off is because you still think like an employee, not like a boss, not like an owner. And you believe the job is the safety net until they say they don't need you no more, until they fire you for some whatever reason they got, valid or invalid. See, I watch people go back to employee positions after being unemployed. I watch. I see it. See, and then they make excuses why they go back. They make excuses. Well, it's because of this and because of that. I want to do this and no. There's only one reason why you would go and sign a contract to work for somebody. Yeah, other stuff is secretary. It might be truth to that what you're saying there, but the real reason is because you feel that's your best option is to become in servitude to someone else and make their dreams come true through your labor. There's no growth in being an employee. There is no growth. Yeah, you might get a raise here and there. You might. Yeah, okay. You get a little you can afford a more expensive car. Maybe it's more expensive house. Buy more groceries. Take take a little more expensive groceries. But there's a ceiling to that. Boss is not going to pay you more than he pay himself. Okay? So you're capped. And that's the real cap. This is stop the cap. That's the real cap. That limit you put on yourself when you accept that contract of a salary from an employer. Yes, I preach this all the time. You cannot serve two masters. You will hate one and love the other. So if you got a job and you're trying to run a business, one of them is going to get loved more. One is going to get hated more. And most people default to the job. I've watched people when I went to barbering school with a gentleman. He had a job. Very good barber. Became a very good barber. Had clients and everything. But he never gave the job the whole time he was cutting hair. So what did that do? That limited his income potential. Why did he want the job? Oh, the benefits. The 401k. Well, why come you can't be your own 401k? If I'm making thousands of dollars a week, I can make my own 401k. I don't need a job to make me come there at a certain time and leave at a certain time and give me a certain salary and certain time off. But in his mind, that made sense. Why? Because he was programmed to believe that the job was the security, that working for somebody else, putting his financial freedom, his financial well-being into some employer's hand. Man, I think this 2 more sips. Now, one of the things about me is I've done a lot of things. I've done satellite installations. I've done cable installations. Worked for Time Warner, Comcast. I worked from Verizon Wireless cell phones. I worked in their technical support systems. I worked at the World Trade Center. What else have I done? I helped my father in his janitorial business. Barber. I'm a professional barber. I still maintain my license. So where I run into problems is that I could walk into the room or any situation and I could see it all. I've done a little, I'm not a plumber, but I know how to do some plumbing. I've replaced the toilet because I own a home and I had to do these things. My electrical and my electronics experience helped me know how to change a simple power outlet or a power switch or a light switch. See, that's knowledge. And I'm saying this, what knowledge do you have? See, that was just simple. It's simple to change. If you understand how to change out a light switch, it's a very simple. It's just matching colors for the most part. Very simple process. And it doesn't take long. But when you don't have the knowledge, it seems very hard. I can install entertainment centers. I can fish a cable line in a wall. Let me just add this about electricians versus electronics. Do y'all know that electricians have no idea? Although electricians can get paid more, they have no idea about running cable for television. They don't. They fiber optics. They don't know. They have no. That's a whole totally different field. They don't understand. Like they might understand the ohms when it comes to the electrician part, but they don't understand how important ohms is and ingress and egress of cable lines. They don't understand that because when I used to install cable, and the people would hire the electrician to run their cable lines. That's the worst mistake you can make. Never let an electrician run your cable lines because he doesn't understand that world. That's a whole different world. Low voltage electricity is a whole different world to electrician. Like they was running cable lines and taking staple guns and stapling the wires to the wall. Now this is old school. We're dealing with wireless and all of that now. But when you staple a cable line to the wall, you just messed up the ingress and egress of the signal. And then especially if you're using a metal staple, that's going to interfere with the signal flowing through. That 75 ohm has to be perfect almost. And there's a dielectric that runs around that center conductor that has to remain a certain circumference. That's those 75 ohms. But that's cable. That's the old world. We into higher frequencies now. Copper center conductors and stuff like that. So people would do that. Oh, the electrician did it. And I had to go in and rewire the whole. I've been into multi-million-dollar homes and had to rewire the whole house because the electrician damaged the cable so bad. Because he didn't know. He knows electricity. That's what he's certified in. That's what he's trained in. He's not trained in low voltage electricity. So I'm saying this to say this. Everybody has their talents. And the minute I move off of my talent into someone else's talent and don't have the full knowledge of that talent, I make the assumption that I know that information because I am this. That's why I told you I know a lot of things. I've done this and I've done that. That's why I seek knowledge, because I can be able to articulate and understand how something is done. We're simply here to seek joy. And one of the joys, part of joy, is seeking knowledge. When you're sitting back just letting things whatever, you're not growing. So seek knowledge. And the first knowledge you need to seek is to understand, overstand, side stand, top stand yourself. Know thyself. That is the most, that knowledge right there, knowing yourself, is the highest form of information you can, or knowledge you can have. Because once you know yourself, you'll be able to navigate this world. You'll be able to command money on the snap of your fingers. You'll be able to command anything at the snap of your fingers. Just know yourself. That is your mission. The Christ mind, the Christ that came into the world, was there to show you your work of knowing yourself, knowing your tolerance levels. And you know, if your tolerance level is low, you got work to do. Sermons said, he said he do home repair and I have to do it all, just like Jim Crown. All the jobs, because they all have to work together. So you look out for the plumber looks out for the electrics. Yes. Same building, different perspectives. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this. It was at the last 13 minutes. Let's do this. Skip ahead. I think it's right about here. Let's play it.
South. This is where ancient Kemetic knowledge rested. The colonizer thought that thought was in the mind. Here, this is the reason we say that we think with our heads. That's a colonial idea. Ancient Africans said you think with your heart, which is why your heart was weighed on that feather, against the feather in Kemetic knowledge. On the judgment day, your heart had to be lighter than a feather for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven. The ma'at, or the concept of ma'at. Justice, the balancing of the scale. Your heart had to balance a feather. Look how cruel the Egyptians were. You put a feather on this side and your heart on the other. And imagine the feather was supposed to go down and your heart up. You were supposed to have a light heart at death.
Come on.
No anger, no hate, no guilt, no fear, none of that. Light heart at death. So why did I say hip hop to yourself? Because the teacher would ask you.
Hold on, I just want to, when he talk about the light heart, that's your mission. To know yourself so that you can have a light heart. Know yourself that you can get rid of anger. Know yourself that you can get rid of depression. Know thyself so that your heart can be light. So that that feather can be the scale that goes down. See, these challenges that you have received after your fasting, after you writing down your affirmations, after you did the New Year's resolution, these challenges that you are facing is to lighten your heart. Not to take on the burden of judgment and hate and envy and any other negative emotion. It's to lighten your heart, to let go of the idea that you're right and they're wrong. People only behave the way they know at the time. They didn't see, you're the light bringer. You're the one manifesting light. They may not be. They haven't evolved that far. They haven't grown that far. They're babies. Just because these people are older doesn't make them older than you in divine spirit. See, if you're walking and you're fasting and you're doing all of these things, your spirit is older, is more ancient, more evolved, more mature than theirs. They might be older people. They might be your grandmama, whoever. But you, in your spirit, in a young body, is older, more mature, more wiser. So you have to let go of the idea of, oh, these people are crazy, they wrong, blah, blah, blah. You have to lighten your heart. Let me go back.
Who spoke that? Who said that? How is it possible for you to speak without your mouth? You just spoke. You said, and you did not move anything physical. Yet you spoke.
Come on.
Go further. The teacher would take you further and say, but you heard yourself speaking.
Yeah.
What ear heard you speak? You did not speak jaw. You're not using your larynx to speak, so your ears can't pick it up. The ears work on vibrations. So how is it that you can say, and hear it. Go further. The teacher would say, well, if you close your eyes, you can see this word, hip hop. What sight is that? Come on. When you close your eyes, you can even see the word hip hop better. What is the sight that sees your future? Or sees your past? When someone says, yo, last week we was at the club, and you could see it. You say, yo, next week I'm gonna go to college. You could see it. Your two eyes, these two eyes in your head don't see your past or your future or your present. Again, the two eyes in your head does not see the past or the future. What sight then sees the past and the future? All of this is your soul. All of this is the first you. The flesh is a manifestation of your consciousness. This is only here. This is only here to prove your consciousness. Your consciousness wants evidence of itself. That's self-awareness. Your consciousness wants evidence of itself. So it creates this. This. But this is not you. Come on. You are the creator of this. You're not the body. You're the light within it. Yes, yes. This light can see, hear, and speak without the body. Yes. You're already dead now. Because when the body drops off, look at this. With the body, you can speak, see, and hear without it. So imagine when the body drops off, you can still see, hear, and speak. Because you're doing it now. The more you go within and speak with this voice, the voice that is within you is not the voice out here. The voice that's within you is also in an inner environment that's called the kingdom of heaven. Yeah. That inner voice is in a place. It's in a place. And the more you get with that voice, speak with that voice, give that voice the words you'd like to see in your reality. Give that inner voice the words for it to see what you want to be of yourself. This is the soul. When your body drops off, you can still speak, hear, and see. So try to close the eyes more and see without these eyes, like see your future. Try not to speak so much out in the open about what your plans are and what you want to do. Tell them to yourself. And of course, finally, listen. Because once you're in that space, no body, no physical, okay? You're talking without the body. You're hearing without the body. You're seeing without the body. So there is no death. Get rid of that concept now, especially while you're young. I got rid of it like 35 years ago. I was able to do some amazing things because I don't fear death. The fear of death is what holds us all back from success. And that's what the colonizer puts on us. I'll kill you. But once you realize that there is no death, and in fact, no lesser being can destroy a higher being. That's physics in nature. Anybody coming at you with hate, just see, they're already destroyed. What Martin Luther King said was, don't let them take your soul. Don't stoop to their level and allow your soul to be taken. Then you lost. Yeshua said, don't be afraid of the guy that can kill the body. Be afraid of the one that can kill the soul. This is what you must hold on to, your soul. Black history is the recorded documentation of the immortality of the human soul. That's Black history. Black history documents the indestructibility of the human soul. All through our history, what do you see? Resilience, strength, outsmarting these demons, getting over. How do you have an African American president in a racist country? We're some great people. No, think about this. Think about this, because this is soul. This is not, oh, he's there because we voted. Think of your soul that is outside of all this material stuff. Start to read the language of soul, and you'll start to see there are no good and bad people. There are forces in the world that we are all attuned to. Some of us are attuned to the thief force. Some of us are attuned to the murderer, liar, deceiver force. Others of us are attuned to the love, mercy, knowledge force, justice force. The worst thing in the world is for a real thief to try to correct himself. That's terrible. That's controversial, isn't it? A real murderer should be a murderer. God wants that. Can you live on this level? Can you live on such a level of acceptance where if someone even robs you, you say, this is the will of God? Because nothing can stop me. Nothing. The only thing that can happen to me is what my inner voice wants to happen. And so this voice didn't want this, so obviously this is my good. This is my good. Be careful with these sciences. They are ancient. You have to be of the bloodline to even acknowledge this. There are people in this room, respect to everyone here, but only 10% of you are really going to rise. Let's keep it real before I run out of here. You got to ask yourself, am I that 10? That's what you got to ask as we leave this lecture right now, and you become your ancestors and you reunite with your soul. You stand up and you say, am I that one? Am I that one? This is what you ask yourself tonight. There are people here right now in this room in a crossroads of their lives. You don't know whether you should stay in school. You might want to quit. Times are hard. Money is crunching you. Listen to what I'm saying to you right now. Don't chase money. The minute you chase money, it stops chasing you. Wow. One of the greatest avenues toward wealth is charity. Yes. Give of yourself, and people will eventually pay you. Yes. Thanks for listening to me.
There you have it. There you have it. Yeah, that's a man. Every time I watch that, I'm so happy that Steve sent me that clip. He's right. There is no death. The actual physical body is just your manifestation that you choose to say, okay, I'm done with this body. I've learned all I can learn within this shell. But see, when he talked about the murder and the thief, are you at that level where you can accept that even the murderer is the will of God? Even the thief is the will of God. Even that person that got on your damn nerves, the accuser, is the will of God. It was there to show you something. Are you willing to give mercy where you might say mercy is not deserved? Oh, see, we're quick to say, no, I'm done. That's it. We quick. Well, then you didn't learn the lesson. Because in all things, it would say, what's that section? All things work for the will of the Lord. Let me see if I can find that thing. So I'm going overtime tonight. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. All things. All things. Not that. All things. That challenge you dealing with, there was something. God was in that. The God in you was in that. Your soul was trying to show you something. And let me share this. And I shared it with some people who were fasting. When you fast, you're not just fasting off of food. You remember, food is the illusion. That's the for the sustenance of that shell that you created, which is called the body, to keep it running, like you would put gas in an automobile. See, the soul needs a different type of food. It needs spiritual food. It says you must worship God in spirit and in truth. That is the truth of you. So when you're fasting from food, you're not just fasting from that physical, you're fasting in a spiritual way. And things show up at the end of these fastings and all these things you're doing. These illusions show up to challenge you. There's a book that I read by Deepak Chopra called Buddha, where he had went into this very deep meditation. And this entity had 3 daughters, and each one of them showed up evil. Each one was more evil than the other. And he didn't let it shake him. It was an illusion. These challenges, they're illusions of problems. And like he said, only 10% is going to get it. 10% is going to understand what I'm saying. No matter what you say to people, how you try to think you can articulate it in some high form of communication, they're not going to get it because they may not be chosen to hear it at this level, at this lifetime. And I have to continue to remind myself of that. It doesn't mean that I'm some higher form of being. No, it just means that I have come to accept a lot of responsibility for the things that have taken place in my life. And because I've accepted the responsibility for all of the things and the challenges that I have been confronted with, good and bad, I'm allowed to move on to the next level. I become initiated into the next level. Let me take this last sip. It's a little left. And I got to tell y'all something. And only a few of you might understand. It might be only one person that's listening that will understand what I'm about to say. See, who was asking? He posed the question, am I that 10%? I got to add on to that. You will know that you're that 10%. Because guess what will happen? Don't guess. I'll tell you what would happen. Tonight's the night for me to tell you. And some of you may have experienced this already. You will get your calling. That calling is real. You will get your calling by way of a dream, vision, or situation that will tell you that you have been initiated into the higher levels of these consciousness, the higher understandings. And once you get into that level of consciousness, you will be able to articulate it. And you have to be reminded that not everybody's going to get what you're talking about. You have to be able to accept that. You have to accept people as they are, and where they want to be. The main part of your suffering and your conflict with others and people is that you're not accepting that they want what they want and they're okay with where they're at. Let it be. It's all right. It's not your job. See, my only job is to keep myself on track and to do what I've been commissioned and told to do. That's it. Just put it out there. See, the reason why Jonah, the Jonah got swallowed up, the prophet, or he was given a job to go to the people and tell them what God was about to do. Where he failed to make a mistake and he ended up in the belly of a fish symbolically, that just means that he became in mental darkness. He stopped hearing the word of God for those days. He started hearing the Spirit talk to him and guide him, because he got in his mind and he judged the people and he said they're not going to listen. And he took on the responsibility of, well, they're not going to listen. I ain't going to do it. There's no sense. He judged. Why waste my time? Why waste my breath? No. That wasn't his job, was to convince them to listen. That wasn't his mission. His mission was merely to convey the message from the higher consciousness, from God, from the divine mind, the divine intentions that was coming. Just to tell the story, to tell what was to come. His job wasn't to convince them to listen. And it's not your job to convince anyone to listen. Your job is just merely give the information. And once you understand that power, that job, then you have released a huge burden on your shoulder of being frustrated and not accepting that people won't hear you or listen to you. It took me a long time to get to that. And even now, I still have struggles with that. But I'm a lot better than I was years ago. Now I just say, here it is. Here's the information. And I walk away. I listen to people talk all the time, telling me things about how they're not accepting this. They're not accepting that. And they constantly going into the struggle with things that they're not accepting. And I listen to myself for not accepting this. And the moment peace comes, the moment I accept it for what it is. I deliver the information. You don't want to hear it? Okay. And I have peace. Peace is not with me when I don't accept. The key to all of y'all, my suffering, your suffering, is your non-acceptance of what is. And when you accept, then you can change. You can make a change to things. And there you have it. I'll give y'all the link. Somebody said, what's the name of that video? Here's the link to it in the chat. There it is. In the chat, y'all. There it is. With those who can hear, let them hear. That's all you're looking for. You're not really looking for that. You're just there to just be the mouthpiece, be the deliverer of the information. I know that a lot of stuff that I've taught has helped a lot of people, change people's lives for the better. I've watched, I want to, you know what, before I get off, I knew it was one thing I had to say. I want to give a big congratulations to Corinne, who started her Instagram channel and promoting positive messages. If you can you put your information in the chat, your Instagram channel? See, we need more people delivering this information. And I know she got the call and she's answering the call. See, some of us who got the call just need that reminder that we have the call, that we have the job to do. And that's to bring and deliver information and bring joy and peace to people. And bring self-awareness out there. So if you could put that in the chat so people can see where your channel. It says video not available. I just played the video. That's the link. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me refresh this page.
What is real knowledge?
Right there. I'm sure.
What is real knowledge? Let's start here.
It's still available. And you better check your computer settings, my brother. I'll put it in again. I put it in again. And that's what he's saying. And one thing I want to highlight before I go. Corinne, congratulations. You keep up the good work. Keep it going. All right? You're gonna blow up. You are blowing up. You have blown up. What was I about to say? Man, I just lost that fast. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say it. Oh, yeah. I was supposed to say this. Hey. Oh, she put it at above and beyond. There it is. I'm gonna put it on the screen for the remainder of the show. So y'all can take time to write that down. It's in the chat. Stop telling people your plans. Stop telling your relatives. A lot of times when I really want something major to go off for me, I don't tell anybody. Nobody. I get yelled at over that. I get, people get upset because I don't do that. Because I realize it's my mission and I got to go with it to make it happen. I reveal the plan after everything's done. Like in the neighborhood where I live, there's a guy that walks around and he just talks to himself all the time. Just talks to him. I said, and a lot of people look at him, he's crazy. I don't think he's crazy. I think he's talking to the ancestors and they talk. I mean, he be having some serious conversations. I said, he's getting some real information. One day I just want to ask him, man, what y'all be talking about? Not being funny. I just want to know. See, the untrained consciousness, the untrained, the mind that is not in this the divine connection will see that as something crazy. I don't see it as something crazy. I see it as, man, I want to know. Because he's talking to somebody, something. See, the world want to call that schizophrenia or some other medical name they want to give that. He ain't bothering nobody. He just be walking. And then when he see people, he wave and he speak. But he be walking to going for long walks. I've seen him just walking, just having a good old conversation. Serious, like, man, he be in it. And I was just like, want to stop. Hey, man, what y'all talking about? I just would like to hear what he's saying. But see, when you have to get to a level of acceptance to be able to even see it that way. Oh, shouts out to all of you who are about to break the bank with your ideas. All right. It said it came up this time. Okay, cool. KM 10,005. Yeah, KM 10,005. It's about time that you start making those videos, that you are making those videos. I was sitting back there. Sometimes when I learned the best teacher, that like, would you really want to help people? Let them talk it out themselves. Don't interfere. Because people generally don't like being told what to do. Just let them just figure it out. And you be sitting there just, well, that's what I thought about. I thought about that a long time ago. But I noticed that the people I try to encourage, hey, you could do this and that, they don't do nothing. But the people I sit back and let them be them and don't interfere and just have the energy of the thought in my mind, and then they figure it out eventually. Why does that work that way? Because they're going off your energy of the surroundings they're in, and then they pick up on it. See, verbal communication is one of the worst ways to communicate. People don't get it that way. They get your energy, your spirit, your actions. So I'm gonna make it. See, the moment you put it in your mind that you're gonna make a certain amount of money, the moment that universe start working and you become what you call an alchemist. It start working everything, and all of a sudden the ideas start rushing in. Now, let me give you what do you call full disclosure. Those ideas are coming in. You got to catch them, write them down, because if you don't write them down, you're gonna lose it. And of course, everything's going to come to try to interfere with it. The old program is going to try to come back, that old energy, and try to overwhelm you with that and get you distracted from that. Because what are you doing? You're putting off the old self and putting on a new self, and the old self is going to fight to the bitter end to stay there. That old programming. I just want you to recognize that. And if you can recognize it, you can work around it. And there you go. And with that being said, peace, prosperity, and